go. Okay, Boker Tov, everybody. That's Hebrew for good morning. We're going to get started today with Isaac's Bar Mitzvah. Usually a Shabbat prayer service, which is Saturday for us, comprises something called Shacharit. Shacharit means dawn, right? And it's no longer dawn, but it's the morning prayer. So we start off with some morning prayers, and then we'll lead into the Torah service, where Isaac is going to lift this, read from this, come around to all of you with the Torah, okay? And this morning we're going to start with, for all of you that have the booklet, right, those that are here in person, you'll see some honors in the service about what's going to take place. And wherever you can, if you know a song, join in. If you want to hum, please do that. And if you just want to watch, it's wonderful too. All right, Isaac, we're going to start with the opening song, okay? You're a little nervous, no? Yes. Yeah, we all are. See, that's good. That's good. That means you're on your toes. Okay, come a little bit more into the center, and he's going to start leading us off because part of his bar mitzvah was learning prayers and what to do. All right, so let's start off with Hine Matov. Hine Matov Umanai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. One more. Hine Matov Umanai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hey, pretty good. Behold how good and pleasant it is for people to dwell together in unity, whether we're in person or on Zoom, either or. Okay? And now I would like to call up Isaac's parents, Eliza and Matt, to come up and present Isaac with his very own talit. Talit is a prayer shawl here that we wrap ourselves in. And it is a mitzvah. It has these little tzitzit on the bottom. Okay, so Isaac is going to get his first talit, as his parents also are going to put on their talits. I forgot to tell them they really didn't have to for this one, but okay. Yeah, why don't you guys come in a little bit more? There you go.
Isaac, the Torah instructs us to make fringes on the four corners of our garments throughout the generations. These fringes, called tzitzit in Hebrew, are to help us remind us of the mitzvot, our obligations to God, the world, and to each other. As our clothing today is no longer a four-cornered garment, we now wear a talit, especially for prayer. The talit not only serves to remind us to observe God's commandments, but it also symbolizes our connection to the Jewish people throughout history and today.
As you wrap yourself in your talit, you also wrap yourself in the folds of our tradition. We pray you will always experience the richness of tradition, of family, and of love. As you take your place and weave your way into the tapestry of your heritage, may the many-stranded thread of your life strengthen the fabric of the universe.
Exciting. This is the exciting part. Yeah, good idea. He's going to open it up, and then usually there's something on the neck called an atara that usually always has the blessing on it that he will always say. Yeah, you did it. It was an excellent job. Not always so easy. Now, that's it. You're indoctrinated into the prayer service. That's it. Bar mitzvah, he's wearing his talit. So you may be seated. No? Okay, and we're going to go to the next page over here. Okay? Now, the main part of any prayer service is this one prayer, which, how many times do we say it a day? Do you know how many times? Well, we pray 3 times a day, and this particular prayer here that we're going to read right now is called the Shema, right? Shema Yisrael, Hear, O Israel, some of you might know it as. It's technically our pledge of allegiance, really, to God. So Isaac is going to lead us, and then Noah, you're going to come up and do the Ve'ahavta? Yes? Okay. Noah, yeah, you could come up, Noah, too, because you're going to, and then Isaac will read the English translation that's on the following page. Okay? Go ahead. And now all of us can say it as well. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Okay.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווה היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושיתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך וקשוקו מקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטפטות בעיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Very nice. And that tune that you used is the same tune that he's going to read the Torah.
You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. These words which I, God, command you today shall be upon your heart. You shall teach them thoroughly to your children, and you shall speak them when you return to your house in the evening, when you leave your home in the morning. When you lie down at night and when you rise in the morning, you shall bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a reminder between your eyes. You shall write them upon your doorposts of your house and upon your gates. And it will be, if you diligently obey my command, which I enjoin upon you this day, to love your Lord your God, and to serve God with all your heart and all your soul, I will give you rain for your land in the proper time, the early rain and the late rain. And you will gather in your grain, your wine, and your oil. I will give grass in your fields for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. Make sure that your heart is not lowered away, and you do not turn astray to worship other gods and bow down to them. And then the Lord's wrath will flare up against you, and God will close the heavens so that there will be no rain, and the earth will not yield its produce, and you will swiftly perish from God's land, which the Lord gives you. Therefore, place these words of mine upon your heart, upon your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand. And they shall be a reminder between your eyes. You shall teach them to your children, to speak of them when you sit in your house and when you walk on the road, when you lie down and when you rise. And you shall inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your return may be prolonged, the land which God swore to your forefathers to give them for as long as the heavens are above the earth.
Okay, so before we go to the next part of the prayer service, I was just reminded, and I want to make sure that this is also, at the same time, recording.
Recording in progress.
We had turned it off because they were all talking. Sorry guys, it's now recording again. So I hope you can hear us. Thumbs up if you can hear Isaac. Yes, okay, we have thumbs up. That's excellent. Okay, all right. So usually there's a little song called Mi Kamocha, which is, if you remember the great movie of the Ten Commandments, this is when God, Moses, with God's help, splits the sea, bless you. They walk to the other side, and then they are finally free, when they really, really escaped the Egyptians. So it was really a time of happiness, that they were, relief that they were free. And then the Amidah, which is what we're going to have over here, which is the main prayer. This is what replaces what they used to do with animal sacrifices back in the day. Thank goodness that now we have prayer instead of sacrifices, because we like the animals. So, right, Leo? Leo's happy. Okay, so Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. כמעשיך מלכותך מלכו כל העמים ומשכתך בכל דור ודור. No, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נעדר בקודש. I'm going to ask everyone to please rise. Okay? So this part here, I'm going to sing it in Hebrew. It's transliterated for you. Okay? And it starts off like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גואל לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ופוקד ומושיע ומגן. We go again. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. וכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. You may be seated for the second part over here. So now, I'm going to ask all of you, I know that many of you didn't understand that. The first paragraph was a little bit about our ancestors, right? Who Isaac is even named after, has the name of one of our ancestors. The second one, Isaac. We have Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the mothers of Sarah, Rebecca, and Rachel, and Leah. So that one is to connect us to the covenant that we have with God, that God made the promise to our ancestors to give us the land, to keep us going further, and as long as we kept God's Torah, right? That was the deal. And the second paragraph is a little bit about God and how God is basically everlasting and all-powerful, both. This particular time, there's about 18 to 19 blessings in this prayer. And so instead of actually going through it, we're going to ask all of you all to take a minute just to connect. If you want, you can close your eyes and just take a second to connect and say anything you want. When you're done, just look out away. Usually during this prayer, we also make room to say a prayer for anybody who might be in need of healing, whether they're physically ill or they have an emotional affliction of the soul, right? So we'd like you just to think in your head of the names of anybody that you might know who might be in need of healing as I sing the song for the healing. Mi sheberach Avotenu Mikor habracha limotenu shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. May he who makes peace in the high places may bring peace upon us and upon all of Israel and on all the world, and let us say Amen. And now we turn to the page which talks about the Torah service. Okay? So the Torah service, actually, right? The word Torah literally means teaching. It refers to the handwritten parchment scroll containing the 5 books of Moses, which we have right here, also known as the Hebrew Bible. The Torah is divided into 54 portions called parshiot in Hebrew. 1 or 2 of the parshiot are read each Shabbat to complete an annual cycle. The parsha Isaac will read from today is called Emor. Emor means speak or say. Okay, it is the 8th chapter of the 3rd book of Leviticus. In Hebrew, it's called Vayikra. Okay, so there are a few different topics that Parshat Emor speaks about. It speaks mainly about the Jewish holidays. It speaks about a blasphemer, which we're not really going to read from today. And it speaks about something that's also connected to the land. A sabbatical year called Shemitah, and Yovel, which is a Jubilee year in the 50th year. Okay, so when you guys have some time, if you want to read a little bit about that, please, feel free. Okay? So now, Isaac, that you can put down. This here you can put down. And we're going to come up now to the Torah service. Okay? So, what's going to happen here is Isaac is going to pick the Torah up. He is going to, yes, it's going to be good. Don't worry, it's just your family and friends, right? And only people that care about you and love you. So, that's it. So, really, really nothing to be worried about. Okay, he's going to pick it up. He's going to sing the Shema. We're going to repeat after him. He's going to say another sentence. We'll repeat after him. And then he's going to come around with the Torah, right? And everybody is invited. You touch the Torah and you sort of bring it towards your mouth as if you're taking words of the Torah into yourself, right? A lot of people know it, think of it as kissing the Torah, but actually we're taking words from the Torah into us. And then after he finishes reading, we have some fun. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Eloheinu, Gadol Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo, not yet. Gadol Adonai iti, Unromama Shemo Yachdav. Now, please rise everybody for the Torah to come around. Lecha Adonai HaGedula v'HaGevura v'HaTiferet v'HaNetzach v'Havod. Romimu, Romimu, Adonai Eloheinu, V'hishtachavu. You have to go to the Zoom people. V'hishtachavu, L'Adam Raglav Kadosh Hu. You may be seated. See, we can't forget the people on Zoom either. Okay? And so now Isaac is going to undress the Torah. In Hebrew, the word Torah, it ends with the ah ending, and that means it's female. So, what was it that you told me that you learned, Isaac, about the Torah? Why do we dress the Torah up? You remember?
How you dress and undress the Torah is supposed to symbolize that how it's so important, it's equal to a human being's life. Like how you would dress up a human, would dress up the Torah, and it's nice clothes because it's so important.
Yeah, on a special day. All of the above. There you go. Okay? So, it's got a dress, a necklace, a belt, everything. Okay? So, now that the Torah is here and opened, we're going to put this on top of it here just for a moment. Okay? Alrighty? And we'll move this here to the side as well. These two here I'll put over here. The adornments. Okay? And now we're going to call up to the Torah Isaac's parents. But calling up to the Torah, you don't just call them up and say, hey, mom and dad, come on up, right? You have to call them in their Hebrew names, right? So as I call up Eliza and Matt to the Torah, I will say it in Hebrew. Ta'amdu, Aliza v'Matityahu Yaakov Karchmer la Torah la Aliyah Rishona. Come on up, okay? We're going to open the Torah. They're going to say, see, Leo, every time that I would come here and work with Isaac and teach him, every time Isaac would start reading from the Torah and singing, Leo felt like it was his bar mitzvah too. And he would start reciting the verses as well. So there you go. Okay, so you're going to recite the blessing. After you recite the blessing, we're going to take the cover off. We're going to find the spot. You'll take the bottom of the talit and you'll touch the word with it. Okay? All right, Isaac, come a little closer this way. All right. Go ahead. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamra Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Amin V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Wow, that was pretty good. If you're out there on Zoom, I'd say they deserve a thumbs up for that. So most people come up and they don't know it at all. They don't remember it. Okay, Isaac? So now we're going to open the Torah up. Okay? Hold on here. Let's see. Remember these little, the stoppers? Let's see. If not, we'll use a stopper. Okay, now, the first word, hold on a second. Wait, let me borrow this. A memento. Ayin tachat ayin. It's going to be right over there. So you hold on to that. And you're going to let your parents also do it. For yours, you're going to do it. Okay? Good. All right? Are you ready? Nice, loud, and slow. Okay?
Umaken nefesh bema yishamena nefesh ta nefesh ish kitenu lanito gasher sa gen aselo shever ta shever ayin ta ayin shen ta shen gasher sa
Asher yitenu.
Kasher yitenu bada ke'en hina tego.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so now leave that pointer right over there. Okay, alrighty. Yep, we put the cover on top. Alright, and your parents are going to say the after blessing.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'Ke'olam Natan B'Tohenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. Mazal tov to the two of you. Hey, give them hugs, kisses. It's a big day. Okay, and the two of you can come stand on this side, over here. Okay, so now Isaac, I have for you, just in case, right here, the blessing before. Okay, and you say it with this closed, and then, okay?
Baruch et Adonai bara.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai bara le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher banu mikol amin v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen. Okay, we're going to open it up again. Okay, now let's just find the exact spot. Yeah, that's okay. This is always the hardest part. And being that this is the traveling Torah, it's a wee bit smaller. Okay, wait, so. Oh, here it is, right there. You see? Okay, there you go. Okay? All right, loud, slow. Yes, there you go.
אני אדוני אלוהיכם, הבאתי במשה, אבני ישראל, והוציאו את הגולה, אל מחוץ למחנה, וגבו אותו אבן, ובני ישראל עשו כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה.
Very good. Okay, so kiss that last word with the tzitzit, with the talit. Very good. Okay, wait, we're gonna just cover. Take that out, go ahead and cover it up. Okay, and now you're going to say the blessing after. Have it right here. Okay?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shenat lanu et Torah v'hei olam natan v'Eloheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. Again, your parents, this is the Torah. Okay? And we're going to save a little bit of the fun part for after his speech for a second. So the idea was now, if everyone could please join us in Zoom land and here, we are going to, if you want, you can put the papers down a moment. Noah, you can join us too. We're going to dance around here in hopes of not tripping on the wire and sing Siman Tov and Mazel Tov. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Siman Tov. Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Siman Tov. Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Siman Tov. Okay, you all may be seated. Congratulations, Isaac. 1 down. See, you did a great job. No need to be nervous. You practiced, you studied for about a year, and you were excellent, I have to say. Okay, and now, whoops, we're going to take a moment. By the way, this little Torah reader, this pointer, is called a yad. Yad meaning hand, I guess, although it kind of looks like an etzbah, like a finger over there. And why do we use a pointer and not our actual finger? Do you know?
So we don't have to touch the Torah because we don't like smudge or anything.
Correct. All right. Why might we smudge the Torah here? What might happen to this little Torah if we why is it that the ink would smudge when normal ink doesn't?
Because you have to use like natural ink from plants and like bugs and stuff, so it's a lot more sensitive than like the ones we use in printers.
Yep. Everything on a Torah is all from natural products, right? We have the wood, we have the ink that is made from plants and or insects here or there. Everything about it is on parchment, actually, and even the rest of it, how the pages are put together, they're actually sewn together. So again, it has to be thread that comes from like plant or something like that. And I say this because it's really, really important. You'll hear Isaac in his speech shortly, that he really, really is very connected to the land and the environment, and really his portion and the Torah itself is also connected to it. And those were the things that he saw while he was learning. So something to just point out. Okay, so we're going to open up here again to the correct page, which I apologize, I did not number the pages, but it's going to right after the part that says Mazel Tov. Now, here I'm going to give him a little bit of a Misha Barach. Okay, Misha Barach is when you're after you're at the Torah over here, he gets a little bit of a blessing. So I'm going to put the Misha Barach and the Rabbi's blessing all together in one. And then this way you soon will pick the Torah up and then you'll have your speech, okay? All right? And this is really how it goes. It's a beautiful little blessing. And it goes like this. I'll just read it in Hebrew without singing. Okay? Mi shebarach avotenu Abraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Hu yivarech et Yitzchak Eitan. His Hebrew name is Yitzchak Eitan. Shemal'u lo 13 shana v'higia lemitzvot ve'ala laTorah latet shevach ve'hodaya leHashem. Yitbarach al kol haTova shegamal ito. Yishmerehu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'chayehu ויכונן את ליבו להיות שלם עם אדוני, וללכת בדרכיו ולשמור מצוותיו כל הימים ונאמר אמן. He who has blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will bless you, Isaac Eitan, who has reached 13 years old, right? And is now responsible to fulfill mitzvot on your own on the day that you have come up to the Torah to give praise and thanks to God. May you be blessed with only goodness. May the Holy One watch over you and guide you to walk in the ways of Torah laws and to keep its commandments for all your days. And let us say Amen. Okay. Lastly, we say here, now here's this part here. You get the real rabbi's blessing. If I was a Cohen, I'd be doing the Mr. Spock, but I'm not. So he just gets the regular. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'kunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May the light of God shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the presence of God be with you and always give you peace. Amen. Okay? Now, he is, as we took the Torah out and came around with it, in order to put the Torah back in the ark, which technically we have a virtual ark. We're using just the bima, just the table, right? So Isaac is going to pick the Torah up. When he picks it up, he's going to turn around and show it to everyone in the audience. It's a tradition that people usually take their pinky or their hand, the same way you took words of Torah into you, that you do it again, but from a distance this time. Okay? All right? And then we're going to sing a nice song together. All right? Go ahead. Got it? V'zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai hayer b'yad Moshe. Let's see. Kind of like that. Very good. Okay. Now, yes, gently. Okay. Now we get to redress the Torah. Oh, here's the chagura, the belt. Any which way. Sorry. No, that's okay. We've been through, how many mitzvahs are in the Torah? Who knows? Anybody here know?
603.
600, and how many years old are you when you get a bar mitzvah? 613, correct, 613. So there you go. We cannot, each one of us, fulfill all 613. And there is some things, even just coming up here and having a bar mitzvah, is really, really almost equal to doing all the mitzvahs in the Torah. Technically teaching your kids also, which you definitely did. As I've learned from working with Isaac and meeting Noah, they're very wise and knowledgeable in all things. Okay, yeah, and this too. Well, this one, yeah, okay, that's good. Maybe you'll use that for your speech also. Okay? Right? I think that's a good idea. This will become yours, okay? Now that we did that, what song are we going to sing, Isaac, on the top of the next page after the Misha Barach, after the little rabbi's Misha Barach over here? We have something called Eitz Chaim. Okay? Eitz Chaim means tree of life. Okay? I'm going to start in the Hebrew. Isaac's going to continue in the English. Join us if you can. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcheha me'ushar. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcheha me'ushar.
It's the tree of life, and those who hold fast to it and all of its supporters are Happy. Everyone say shalom. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. One more. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it. All of its supporters are happy.
Everyone say shalom. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom. Leo, I thought this was one of your favorites. You used to sing it with us all the time. Okay? I've given the rabbi's blessing already. Did a little. Okay? And now we're going to call up Isaac's parents back up so that they can say the Shehechianu blessing. Shehechianu blessing is the blessing that you say one time when something momentous, a momentous occasion in your life occurs. Okay? So whether it's your child being born, somebody's getting married, obviously a bar mitzvah, all of those wonderful things. So we're going to call them up here to say the Shehechianu, which is really, really a true honor for them to actually get to the point where they're, after Isaac, they're done. That's it. Come on up here. Come on. Oh, Leo, you can say it too.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyimanu v'ehyanu l'zman hazeh.
Amen. Oh, go ahead, the English.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, sustaining us, and bringing us to this time.
Beautiful. Amen. Okay, and now, wait, I think you guys are going to stay up here, right? If you would like to, then you have a few words I think you want to say to Isaac. Oh, is he going to go? Is he going to go first? You're right. I think yes. Haha. Did I forget that? Silly me. Haha. I did. Okay. So we're all going to have a seat, actually. All right? And then we're going to call them back. Improvising isn't always a good thing, folks. It's fun and exciting. Okay, I'm going to have a seat here while you read your speech, okay? Loud, remember that you have friends and family there too that are going to need to hear it, okay? Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. Okay, we're going to pass these out. You see Zoom people? Okay, we're going to pass out some candies. When he is done with his speech, we're going to ask you to nicely belt him with some of these really nice soft candies. And then after that, the girls, Zoe and Aiden, can come back and collect them, and everyone's invited to have some too. They're delicious, soft, sweet candies, right? Usually because a prayer service is so very long, people starve in the middle. So there you go, as you can tell. Okay? Hold on, we'll just wait for them all to get so the rustling somewhat stops a little bit. Okay, yeah, you don't have to just throw one, you could throw a bunch. Festive. Here, even I'll have one or two. Not yet. They're doing a preemptive strike. I don't know if that's fair. Okay, Isaac.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all for coming in person, and those of you who are joining us on live stream. I'm very honored to stand here before you on my garments today, reading the Torah and telling you what I've learned on my journey to becoming a man in the Jewish religion.
Slower.
I'd like to tell you about my Torah portion I just read from. It's called Parashat Emor, and it comes from the book of Vayikra, and also known in English as Leviticus. It's one of the most important portions that leads to me. The main part of my portion is about respecting the land as we respect other humans. Emor doesn't just talk about the laws of the land, but it ties it to the three main holidays: Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. I learned that there's a very close connection in Judaism between man, God, and our land. As the laws and practices of God may not be as up to date with our times, the meanings are still important, and we can find valuable lessons in them. I have an example. In my portion, I learned that every 7 years you must let the land rest. This means there'll be no kosher wines or vegetables coming from the land this year. This gives the land time to rest and replenish. It also gives the animals a whole lot to eat. The seventh Shemitah year, I also learned that every 49 years, the you must let your slaves go. This is no longer relevant because we've evolved past the cruelties of slavery. But the meaning is still the same, that we should be kind and have empathy to others, even if it costs us. Although these two principles may seem simple, these days it's pretty uncommon for people to respect the earth and have empathy for others. As you look around, you can see dry earth used to the point of non-replenishable, and oceans filled with more plastic than anyone has seen before. These problems are what my passage meant to solve and prevent. And as people stray from old lifestyles, the new habits do not work well with the earth, and empathy is lost. A person used to get a soda at a restaurant. They'd say, "May I please have a soda?" And say, "Thank you for serving me." Now people bang on an old rusty machine and play the quarters. In this example, I lose empathy because of the lack of human interaction. Many people now speak with demand. They would say, "Give me that report or solve this equation." The deficiency of human interactions cause people to become unaccustomed to it, and that's really when they finally do interact with others. Funny enough, my cousin Adlai Lipton had Kiddushin, the portion about love your neighbor as yourself. His portion leads into mine. He interpreted that the earth is your neighbor. He said that people are forgetting to love the earth. My portion is also love your neighbor as yourself, with the addition of connecting the Jewish holidays together, between humans, animals, earth, and another coincidence is that both my cousin and I have go to a camp that is intertangled with nature. So it might not be a coincidence that we both got Torah portions having to do with nature, since we would be good people to talk with. I read my portion during the time of the Omer, which is between Passover and Shavuot. The Omer is the time when you count until the wheat harvest. But since we're not all farmers anymore, it's become customary to try and improve our connections to God, the land, and other people. So I think now is a great time for all of us to go out and do something that will help replenish the earth. Some act that will show our empathy for another person. And ultimately, this is how we will find our way to a stronger and deeper connection to our Creator as well. At the end of the ceremony, I'll be giving each of you some seeds that you can plant to help you get a head start. In closing, I would like to show some gratitude to some people that helped me reach this important life event. My bar mitzvah. Throughout my life, my parents have helped me overcome many challenges I have faced. Through injuries and my dyslexia, they have supported me the entire way. I'd also like to thank my sister for not always being the nicest, but sometimes being nice, and for encouraging me to learn Hebrew. Last off, I'd like to thank Lisa Schramford by being my tutor and teaching me how to do this. I'm lucky enough that Nana, Dubs, and Papa have supported me and loved me my entire life. And Baba, who's no longer with us, I'm proud to carry on your traditions, and I hope they are proud of me today.
Woo! Sing it up, mazel tov, mazel tov, sing it up, sing it up, mazel tov, mazel tov, sing it up, sing it up, mazel tov, sing it up, yeah. Anu. Girls, you can come up and collect them, you know. Girls, Zoe, guys, if you wanna come up, the more you have, the more you can share with your friends or eat yourselves. Oh wow. As long as Leo doesn't eat them, I think everybody else, they are kind of nice. Yes, we invite everyone. Oh wow, there's so many. I don't know if you have to get them all, but they did. Good going. Good going. Okay, so now we're going to put all of this away a little bit. Oh, wow, that was very smart thinking. Wow, she collected them all in her dress. Hey, good going there.
There's a hole if you want.
It's a smart family here.
So you can hold to me. How about we put them in there?
Okay.
You get the one that's over in the corner?
I'll take your dress off.
There you go. Good job, girls. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now, since the parents said the blessing, we're going to call them up anyway. Put it this way. I'll sing a little bit of that song, a real quick version. Quick. You'll come up, you'll make your speeches, and then we'll have a couple more prayers, okay? So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu down, you can sit down. If you want to stand next to them, you can. Any of the above. I'm gonna kind of move out of the way.
I'm speaking to you, kind of, so.
So there you go.
All right, so I've been really thinking for a while about what to say today, and I have to say it's been challenging. It's just very hard to know how to convey in this one sitting how proud we are of you, Isaac. I've been thinking about how much you've grown up and changed over the past 13 years, but how much you've also stayed the same. As you know, we've been going through our house and organizing and getting rid of stuff, and I have come across some scraps of paper with written comments that both you and Noah said when you were younger that I thought were cute and funny. Like when you were 6 and you said, "I'm angry about the Ice Age. Now we can't see dinosaurs and woolly mammoths of all types. I love woolly mammoths." And a thoughtful observation when you were 4 and said, "So when you're going to die, half the day you're alive and the rest of the day you're dead." There were some others that I won't embarrass you with here today, but put it this way, they involve body parts, as kids like to do, and some cute ones from Noah as well. But even then, you cared about animals and nature and reflected on important topics. You have so many admirable qualities that have contributed to leading you to this moment. So what I want to say, Isaac, is that how you conducted yourself preparing for your bar mitzvah is such a great example of who you are. First of all, it all came from you. Well, we're very happy and of course thrilled that you're doing a bar mitzvah. We didn't insist it, and we didn't even request it. You were internally motivated to do this. You kept on us, repeatedly asking for a tutor, insisting you need to start in the fall after camp, and you really persisted, and we finally overcame our procrastination. Of course, we weren't reluctant, it was on the to-do list. And we found Lisa, and we're so grateful for that. And through the fall, winter, and spring, you met with Lisa weekly, and more recently twice a week for tutoring, studying, and practicing. And there was no resistance or complaints at all, and actually it was very clear that you really enjoyed the work and look forward to it. That's also a statement to Lisa's skills and teacher and her buoyant and energetic personality. And finally, for this ceremony, you focused on what matters, learning your Torah portion, practicing, having a small and meaningful celebration with family. A big party or a showy celebration is not at all what you cared about, and you didn't care to have a bar mitzvah that way someone else might want to have their bar mitzvah. You wanted it your way, and you did display some characteristic stubbornness in making it clear you wanted it in our home, bagels afterwards, and dinner at the local ramen restaurant tonight. I admit that Matt and I at first had a hard time figuring out what you wanted, but I hope we've been able to achieve it and that this day is everything you hoped for. Isaac, I'm impressed by the character, integrity, and values you've displayed while preparing for your bar mitzvah. And throughout your life, you've learned resilience through dealing with challenges like working with your dyslexia. You're curious, caring, and full of humor, even about yourself. When you're passionate about something like skiing or taekwondo, you go after it with consistency, dedication, and hard work, and you immerse yourself in it and just have a lot of fun. You're a good friend. You're stubborn but forgiving. You have a laughing and joyful soul, and I'm proud of the man you are becoming. So last night, Lisa shared some blessings with me, and I just want to say this blessing because I really liked it, and I don't know who wrote it, and I certainly didn't write it, but I'm going to say it. I wish for my son and my daughter, I wish for all children, sorry, let me start again. What I wish for my son and my daughter, I wish for all children. I wish for you to be a person of character, strong but not tough, gentle but not weak. I wish for you to be righteous but not self-righteous, honest but not unforgiving. Wherever your journey, may your steps be firm, and may you walk in just paths and not be afraid. Whenever you speak, may your words be the words of wisdom and friendship. May your hands build and your heart persevere what is good and beautiful in our world. May the voices of the generations of our people move through you, and may the God of our ancestors be your God as well. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, and from the sacred place you are connected to all who dwell on the earth. May the stories of our people be upon your heart, and the grace of the Torah rhythm dance in your soul. Mazel tov, Isaac. We love you.
Okay, Isaac, Mazel tov. We are so proud of you, proud to be standing with you today and celebrating this special milestone in your life. You got here with hard work, determination, grit, and self-confidence. From the beginning, you had a vision of how you wanted to become a bar mitzvah, and there was no stopping you. To your credit, it has worked out beautifully.
It's my fault that you're
Yeah.
crying.
You got the wheels going. Yeah. Mom and I want you to know how proud we are of you today and every day. In your entire life, when you have faced a new challenge, you've been fearless and determined. And as Mom has just described, you have the will to pursue the things that you are passionate about and the confidence to stick with your path. It's wonderful to watch. I would like to share a few words of encouragement for the future. Never ever forget you are smart, charming, funny, passionate, and thoughtful. You are a fun and empathetic friend. You have many great friends. Friends at school, friends at camp, and friends on the slopes of Big Sky. These are wonderful traits, and they will serve you well in the future. Mom and I know that you are capable of accomplishing anything you set your mind to in life. We have seen it happen over and over again. Just ask the other kids at Friday Night Chess who had to watch you take home the $100 first prize money. Set ambitious goals for yourself and don't be afraid to make mistakes or fail. Always believe in yourself. Mom and I will continue to remind you of your potential and how much we believe in you. I hope you will have the courage to pursue your dreams and follow your heart in your life ahead. I love you.
Okay, now, well, up to you, if you guys wanna stay up there, because Noah's gonna come up. Noah, you gonna do the prayer for the state of Israel,
Sure.
correct?
Yes.
Oh, this is fun, I have you guys leading.
Avinu Shabbat Shamayim Zer Yisrael V'ki Alo Barech et Midinat Yisrael Bereshit Smicha Geulam Tiyanu. Do you want me to read it in English?
Sure.
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread it over your canopy of your peace. Send your light and your truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell here. Amen. Dwell
Amen.
there.
Amen. And, wait, I have here,
I can just,
okay, good.
I printed out the one that you prefer.
Okay, ready?
You-
Oh, our guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have had by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. You guys may be seated. And then Isaac, it's you and I back. And let's see over here. I'm going to try and, let's see, move the Torah here, gently and nicely. Move this over here. And bring this up, although before bringing this up, we're just going to keep it a little bit beforehand. A second. We're getting close to the end here. Okay. And let's see, put this, whoops, like that, like so. Okay, I'm going to try my hardest. There is one song that usually is sung at the end of a service. It's called It's called Adon Olam, and oh no, it's good. Okay, so it's called Adon Olam, And Eliza told me it's her favorite part of services, where she waits at the end just for the song. Isaac told me, what did you tell me, Isaac?
We would try not to, but we'd sometimes show up a little bit late, but we would never leave early.
Never leave early because Mom loved the Adon Olam song. So the Adon Olam song is the second to last page in the booklet. That first little paragraph is going to repeat 3 times. 3 times. So if you get used to it and you want to help us and join in, please, please do. Okay? Let's hope this works. We're going to give it a try here. Asher malach b'terem kol, Yitzir nivra.
להתנסה בחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם, ואחרי ככלות הכל, ובעדו ימלוך נורא אדון עולם, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם, אדון עולם. אשר מלך
Asher malach
בטרם כל,
b'terem kol,
יציר נברא להתנסה
Yitnasa.
בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם, והוא אחד ואין שני, והמשילו להכבירה אדון עולם, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמצווה אדון עולם, אדון עולם.
Adon olam.
אשר מלך
Asher malach
בטרם כל,
b'terem kol,
יציר נברא להתנסה בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, בצור חבלי בעת צרה אדון עולם, והוא ניסי ומנוץ לי, מנחם כוסי ביום מקרא אדון עולם, אדון עולם.
Adon olam.
אשר מלך
Asher malach
בטרם כל,
b'terem kol,
יציר נקרא להתנסה בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון
There's still one more.
ביעדו עתיד רוחי, בעת תישן בעירה אדון עולם, ברוחי בביאתי, אדון אני ולא נראה אדון עולם, אדון עולם.
Adon is the last one. Asher malach. Asher malach
בטרם כל,
b'terem kol,
יציר נברא להתנסה בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם.
Hey, that one worked actually. Now we'll have to turn it off so that you don't hear the phone beeping. There you go. That comes also. Okay, at the end, I'm going to actually move the Torah away because we don't want anything to ever fall on the Torah. So I'm going to put her right over here, respectfully. And Isaac, what do we have in front of us here?
We have challah and grape juice.
Right, challah and grape juice. So here, we'll put some in here. I know you might prefer wine, but that's the next birthday. So instead we have the very sweet and delicious Kedem grape juice from our fine New York wineries, I think. Okay? And here you go. So what you do for Kiddush, actually, before we can have a festive feast, actually, to celebrate the Bar Mitzvah, the reception part, first we have to make Kiddush. And Kiddush, what is required is some grape juice or wine and some challah, right? Again, a lot of people's favorite part of the service, okay? So here, if you want to hold this in one hand here, and I'll hold this for you, you know, Baruch atah Adonai, go ahead. Amen. Take a sip. We'll have more. We'll pass it around during brunch. Okay? Now do the magician's voila. Ta-da! There you go. Okay? And now, what's the bracha for hamotzi? For the Amen. My completely end and go inside, there is one last thing that I want to present Isaac with. Okay, he's been a wonderful student. Again, like his parents said, it's something that was all self-motivated. Okay, and here is this here. I'm going to hand this to you, my friend. You can hold it. Okay, this you keep. It's the bar mitzvah of Yitzchak Eitan Karchmer, Isaac Eitan Karchmer, on this day, Shabbat of Parshat Emor, on May 14th. The Hebrew month is ER 13, just so you know, in case anyone ever asks you. And you were bar mitzvahed in front of family and friends, near and far, and myself, Rabbi Lisa Shrem. And this you keep. And I told him that when he turns 18, 19, 20, etc., he'll get that goodness, he'll get that good trip to Israel that birthright gives everybody. They always ask, were you bar mitzvahed? Let's see. So you don't want to walk around with like your birth certificate all the time. So here he has his bar mitzvah and his bar mitzvah certificate. I hope he frames it and keeps it someplace where he could be very proud of it. Because today, Isaac, we're all very, very proud of you. Mazel tov, okay? Mazel tov. We invite all of you inside for wonderful festivities. Thank you, Eliza and Matt, and to all of you, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And you can unmute yourselves on Zoom and talk to each other again if you would like to. Let's see. Thank you, thank you. They want to talk to you, Isaac.
Great job, Isaac.
Thank you. Whoop. Thank you. That was really beautiful. Your words were something else.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
And don't worry, you can take care of your guests. I'll clean up all of this.
Mazel
Don't worry, I got it. I'll fold all this up. I'll take all of this. Enjoy your guests. I'll take care of all of this as well. Whoop.
Awesome.